You know, everybody's freaking out about vaping out there. They're freaking out all the time now. You see horror stories about vaping. People know vaping's just terrifying. It's so bad for so many people. Scented candles are vaping. That's a level of vaping. It's scented candles. The area of the brain that gets clouded up with these brain betrayers like scented candles and air fresheners, colognes and perfumes and metals, which sit inside of all those things I just said, the emotional center of your brain gets actually all kind of clogged up with that. We're going to have trouble. Secondhand perfume is worse than smoking. I'll say it again. Secondhand perfume is worse than smoking. Perfume, colognes, air fresheners, and children are subjected to perfume, cologne, air fresheners, scented candles. They're subjected to that all the time, loaded with metals and chemical formulas. You couldn't even believe they're toxic. And no one's talking about language, secondhand perfume. It's when someone's spraying perfume and you're breathing it in, you're somebody that's, it's like secondhand smoke. Someone's smoking a cigarette or an e-cigarette, right? And you're blowing it out like, and someone over here is breathing it in. It's like someone spraying perfume all over them and it's stuck on them and it becomes an aerosol, a toxic aerosol, no matter what. Like if they're walking around and you smell their perfume and cologne, you're breathing it in. Even when they're not spraying it, but it's all over their bodies, that's secondhand perfume, secondhand cologne. It's worse than smoking cigarettes. There's more chemical toxins inside fragrances than there are inside the nasty cigarettes. You know how they say cigarettes? Cigarettes have over 1,000 chemicals in there. Cigarettes have over 1,000 different meaning known chemicals, right? Well, perfumes and colognes have 3,000 to 5,000 unknown chemical concoctions from chemical companies in them, right? But again, no one talks about that. Throw out the air fresheners, throw out the scented candles, get rid of the colognes, get rid of the perfumes, get rid of the fabric softeners, get rid of all the detergents that are blowing out all that chemical, right? Be cautious with bleach. That's an immune system dropper. When you're filling your tank, try to look for the breeze that's going the opposite way. Go on the other side of the nozzle. If you can set the nozzle, you set the nozzle and you stand back a little bit while it's filling. Don't get your carpets cleaned. You get your carpets cleaned with conventional cleaning detergents and stuff like that. That chemical is just going in you constantly. You want to avoid all the different toxins the best you can. Knowing what your immune system is up against is part of the problem. It's connecting to that, being aware and proactive. Keep that in mind. Fragrances travel in the bloodstream too. You smell it on the outside, it's on the inside. You smell cologne, you have cologne in your bloodstream. If you smell air freshener, it's in your bloodstream. And that stuff is traveling with your bloodstream, so pathogens love to eat that stuff. Feed on all those toxins and chemicals. The pathogens love that stuff. But when our immune cells, when they gotta walk back and swim upstream, they're getting slammed with all kinds of different chemicals. We take our immune cells for granted. We might not be able to avoid all the chemicals falling out of the sky and avoid the cologne that's someone's living with you and they're saturated in it. We got to breathe it in all the time. But it's important because we can get rid of what we can get rid of, move things away from us that are intoxicating us, and that helps the immune system. And then we're taught to ingest metals in every way possible. We breathe them in. Colognes, perfumes. Guess what the ingredients of perfume is? Guess what the ingredients of perfume is? It's perfume. Isn't that interesting? The ingredient list to perfume is perfume. I'm scratching my head on that one, right? Guess what the ingredient list of fragrance is? Fragrance. The ingredient list of fragrance is fragrance. The ingredient list of perfume is perfume. The ingredient list of cologne is cologne. What's in there? Cologne. You know what's in there? Pesticides. Pesticides. Not a residue of pesticide. Pesticides. If you're somebody that's ever lived near a conventional farm that does spraying and the wind's going the right direction, you will smell perfume and cologne, just so you know. That's what's in perfumes and cologne. I know I'm not making friends with the perfume industry. Once again, not making friends. They don't put the list of bad chemical agents in here. But if they did put the list of chemical agents in air fresheners, scented candles, and perfumes and colognes, it would be 0147588 dash patented, right? Neurotoxic chemical made for killing insects and whatnot. But hey, I'm gonna spray a little more on me. A little more, spray a little more. Let me go. And we breathe it in, it goes right to the brain. Right to the brain. That's where it goes. Same thing with scented candles. Scented candles, right? How many people? You know, and people get sick, they're sensitive. They don't even know they're getting sick from it. They don't even know they're getting sick from it. It's like, honey, I got another bad headache. Just light a scented candle, another scented candle. Like nobody even knows. Right? The scented candles. Okay? Geneva said, that makes sense why I can't stand perfume. It makes my nose burn being around people who wear a lot of it. Absolutely. It's really sad how bad it really is, all of it. Right? And then when you get really sick, you really can't handle it. You become that canary where, oh my God, you smell a little bit of it, just knocks you down. Right? When you're strong and you're not there yet, you just take in lots of chemical, lots of that perfume, lots of that cologne. You take it in until you're seeing your neurologist. Right? And now you're 35 years old. You don't know it, but you're doused with all that perfume, all that cologne, and you're seeing your third neurologist. And your brain is so filled with metal, and you're just, no one's going to tell you. No one's going to tell you. Because you're not supposed to know. You're not supposed to know. You're not supposed to know how you're being poisoned, how you're being, led to be a sheep or paddle. You're not supposed to know, that you're part of the herd. You're a herd being led. Into all of that. That's what they do. They lead a herd of people into doom. That's how they do it. They slowly do it. I need that for my self-care. See, it's all part of toxic self-care. You see where I'm going here? Body products, that's a big one, okay? So yeah, people are doing body products. And what's so crazy is that there is a surge, a massive surge right now, of body sprays for younger people. So it's like, well, first of all, I bet you your body odor doesn't even push through how much garbage is popping off your body. Like how much scented candles, air fresheners in cars, all the different body products in general, not even the ones that are trying to keep odor away. So all of that is already popping. Colognes, perfumes, all of that. Most people's closets are so inundated and riddled with so much toxic scent and stink coming off of all their clothing, off their towels, that do they really need to go buy a can and then just be like down on their private parts, their ass crack, their chest, their stomach, their back? Do they really need to do that? They don't, but there's a massive movement now, and it's in line of do this for yourself. You're doing yourself something good. This is what you should be doing. This is falling into toxic self-care. Fragrances hide instinctual survival abilities in us. Fragrances numb the senses, taking away any instinctual senses and survival instincts. That's another thing. If you got your home doused with fragrances and your car doused with fragrances, you can't smell something else you're supposed to smell, like maybe some mold. If a car is moldy, you want to know it, you want to be able to smell it, you want to be able to really be a part of that, like realization that there's mold in the car. But if you got an air freshener, like there's selling all these new car air fresheners out there, you stick it right in the vent and you can turn it up and it's just pumping out. You won't smell the mold in your car anymore. So now you got air freshener poisoning you, and then you got mold lowering your immune system at the same time. People are using these scented candles. It gets into their walls, it gets into the furniture, it gets into their bedding, it gets into all their blankets, it gets into every single orifice of their home. And it saturates it for a lifetime. they can live a life, be 100 years old, die, and then the home sells to someone else, and that person buys that home or enters that apartment and rents that apartment, and that smell will still be there 100 years later if that home is still standing. And then that person will still smell all those years of those scented candles and air fresheners and everything else. It could last hundreds of years. If a home is around hundreds of years with these modern everyday chemicals that we're exposed to right now, then it will last every century. Someone will smell what the old person who lived in it 100, 200 years ago was using. It would be all those scents and all those fragrances. It won't be any natural smells like the natural wood. Over there on YouTube, what should you do if you have to work in that environment? Well, that's what I love about medical medium information, okay? Go to the library, get a book out of the library, get a medical medium book, okay? All right? Medical medium doesn't sell anything. It's the books you can get free in the library. Okay? There's no subscription fees on my website. We can't avoid everything. We're going to have to live with it. We're going to have to live with something. Some fragrance or something or some cologne. Something's going to happen in our life. Somebody around us. We're going to have to be in work environment, and that's when we take care of ourselves. We get the metals out. We get the chemicals out. We learn how to do it through the information that SOC has given us, and we learn how to get that out, and we get our lives back. We take control of our lives so that when we walk into an area that has all of that, we're strong. We walk into an area, we don't get triggered anymore. We move forward and we heal.